In one African village, there lived two sisters, Mama Ezini and Mama Afonma. Though they shared the same blood, their lives were as different as night and day. Mama Ezini was the envy of the entire village. Her home was filled with warmth, laughter, and love. Her children were strong and healthy, her husband devoted, and her farm bountiful. It seemed as if God Himself had showered her with every blessing. But not everyone celebrated her good fortune. Mama Afonma, the elder sister, watched from the shadows, her heart twisted with jealousy. Her own life was marked by struggle. Her crops barely grew, her animals were frail, and her house was cold and quiet. Each day, she would glance over at her sister's joyful home, and the bitterness inside her grew stronger. Why her, she would ask herself.
Why does she get everything, while I am left with nothing?
One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows over the village, Mama Afonma's envy reached its peak. She decided that if she couldn't have happiness, neither would her sister. Driven by this dark thought, she sought out a powerful diviner who lived deep within the forest, known for his knowledge of ancient and forbidden magic. Under the cover of night, she approached his hut. The air was thick with the scent of burning herbs as she entered. The diviner, an old man with piercing eyes, looked at her knowingly. "I see the darkness in your heart, Mama Afonma," he said, his voice low and foreboding. "What brings you here?"
I want a way to take away my sister's happiness.
Mama Afonma demanded, her voice trembling with desperation. The diviner studied her for a long moment before he handed her a small vial filled with a thick, black liquid. "This potion," he said slowly, "will bring chaos and despair to her home. But heed my warning, evil can never be contained. What you send out into the world will find its way back to you." Mama Afonma's heart was too hardened to listen. She clutched the vial and hurried back to the village, her mind filled with thoughts of her sister's downfall. Late that night, when all was still, Mama Afonma crept into Mama Ezini's compound. The moonlight barely touched the ground as she poured the potion around the house, muttering bitter words under her breath.
"Let her joy turn to sorrow,"
she whispered.
"Let her peace be shattered."
She left without a trace, eager to see her sister's world unravel. The next morning, Mama Ezini awoke to the sound of her children's laughter, just like any other day. The sun shone brightly, her crops stood tall, and her animals were strong and lively. Nothing had changed. But over at Mama Afonma's home, a dark cloud had settled. Her crops withered before her eyes, the animals fell ill, and her house, once merely quiet, was now filled with arguments and discord. Everything she had wished upon her sister had returned to her tenfold. Panicked, Mama Afonma ran back to the diviner's hut, her eyes wild with fear.
Please, please, help me,"
she begged.
The curse I placed on my sister has come back to me. My life and my family is in danger."
The diviner shook his head sadly. "You were warned, Mama Afonma. The potion revealed the truth in your heart, and now you suffer the consequences of your own envy. There is no magic strong enough to undo what you have done." Despairing, Mama Afonma returned to the village. She went to Mama Ezini, her once proud head now bowed in shame. With tears in her eyes, she confessed everything, expecting anger or retribution. But Mama Ezini, with a heart full of kindness, forgave her sister.
What? That you forgive me? But why? Why, Mama Ezine? After all I have done to you and your family, how can you forgive me? How?
Mama Ezini smiled sadly. because holding on to anger would only darken my own heart. And I will not let envy take away the peace that I cherish. Though forgiven, Mama Afoma's life never returned to what it had been. Her home remained cold, her fields barren. She had cursed herself with her own jealousy, and the village never forgot the lesson that envy is a poison, one that destroys the very soul that harbors it. And so, the story of Mama Ezini and Mama Afoma was told and retold, a tale of love, forgiveness, and the destructive power of envy. Moral lessons. 1. Envy is a poison that can destroy a soul that harbors it. 2. Instead of being jealous over someone's blessing, rejoice with the person. With pure heart and hard work, your own blessing will surely locate you. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on Instagram and Facebook for more educative stories. God bless you. From Ebea Okuchi.